Hey friends, you can tell from this shirt that I'm making a bunch of content on all the same day. But I'm trying to do it while I'm thinking about it, and sometimes you just get busy and you realize it's been a few weeks since you've made any content. So, and I know for many of you, like, this is a thing you're interested in and you want to try to learn more about it. So I want to share. So let me talk about some of the common pitfalls if you're trying to learn TCE. And by common, I just mean these are the pitfalls I ran into and that I've been hearing other people run into as well. So the first thing is just trying to make sense of this. And I've talked a little bit about this before in other videos, but I think if let's say that you're already using like some kind of anchor tonguing, the modified K tongue, something like that, where the tip of the tongue is already down and behind your bottom teeth, and you're articulating that way. If you're not doing that, maybe start with that, okay? Maybe start with just kind of get that feeling of the tips down like that. And then when you articulate, you're articulating with the top of your tongue hitting up around that ridge, like around where your teeth and gum lines meet, somewhere in there, like that. Start working on that first. And then once you get to the point where you feel like you can kind of do that, then try to see if you can articulate to the lips. Like that. And try to get that feeling. I would start with that first, okay? And you'll notice that sound when you're articulating to the lips. There's going to be kind of a pop to it. It just kind of sounds like that. And so work on just getting comfortable with that, with your tongue going through your teeth, touching your lips, and articulating off of that way. Start that way. Then once that feels comfortable, then you want to try to do that, but where you're essentially leaving your tongue close to your lips, and where the tip of it is resting on your bottom lip. So you are then articulating to the lips with this part of your tongue. Or you're articulating to the cutting edge of your top teeth with the top part of your tongue. And as I'm looking at the camera, I'm making you think of other things like that. If I pull my lips apart, like that. And you want the tongue wide in your mouth, in between your teeth, and not pointed. You don't want to like where it's pointed, you want it where it's wide. And then as you ascend, it's just getting even wider in your mouth, moving more forward, and the isometric tension of your lips and your tongue pushing against one another is what creates the firmness necessary here to have the increased buzz, the increased pitch on the buzz. So I'm not thinking firm corners or any of that stuff. I actually don't even think about my corners. I want them to kind of, I wouldn't say be relaxed, but I don't want them tight. I'm not even thinking about my corners. That's happening in response to my tongue pushing against my lips. So if you could see inside my mouth, you would see my two lips. We'll say, here, let's do it this way. Say that this is my top lip and my bottom lip. You'd see that. And let's say that this is my tongue. You'd see that happening. And my tongue is staying close. And if my teeth, or let's say my teeth are like this knuckle here, that second knuckle, there are the teeth at, and here's just this gap. My tongue's kind of in that gap. So it's trying to stay forward. Where I went wrong with it is they talk about in the Trumpet Secrets book how you want to think about you're trying to spit a hair off your tip of your tongue, but that the hair will never come off, and just the tongue always stays there, like that, and the tongue stays in contact. I can do that when I lip buzz, when I spit buzz. That tongue is pretty close into there. I mean, there's just like a small distance, and it's what's creating that vibration, that buzz. But when I would try to do that on the trumpet, I couldn't get it to sound right. And what I realized is the key for trumpet, and again, lips, tongue, teeth are right here, I wish I had a better way to show this, but I hope this makes sense for you. But what I would have to just let the tongue come back just enough to get a better sound. Okay, so I'll try this. I haven't like practiced this at all, but I'll just see if I can do it. Here's short spit buzz, and so with short spit buzz, the tongue staying pretty close to the front. Okay. Something's happened here with my horn. What in the world? What in the world has happened here? Okay, sorry. I just find that funny. I was literally just playing this horn just a minute ago, and now it won't play at all. What in the world is happening here? I'm going to have to edit this out. Oh, I know what it is. I have a trumpet stand, and the tip of the trumpet stand has come off, and it's inside the bell. You can see it right there. Oh, gosh. I hope I don't forget my whole entire train of thought. It's like it's the world's shittiest magic trick. Okay, so where was I going? Okay, so I was going to show you lips, tongue, and quick buzz, leaving the tongue forward, and then a longer tone, leaving the tongue forward. Let you hear how bad it sounds. So those short sounds are very pecky, but like, it kind of sounds okay. It's fine. But then when I would try to okay, well, I can't play everything just like a chicken. Like, I got to have sustained tones. When I first tried to do TCE, that's the sound I would get. And as I would get that sound, I'd be like, this can't be right. Like, this can't be right. Well, it's not. The tongue's too far forward, and you need to bring it back till the sound gets improves. So I still in between the teeth. It's not all the way back where the pitch will fall. So there the pitch is falling because the tongue's coming all the way back. So that's the first thing, is when they talk about the tongue never leaves the lips and then all that, at least for me at this stage where I'm at, don't be too dogmatic about that. Allow the tongue to come back from the lips enough where the sound sounds better, but it still needs to be between your teeth, okay? The other thing that helps is listen to recordings of Maurice Andre, of Harry James, of Horst Fischer especially. Listen to good recordings of those to get an idea of that kind of ideal trumpet sound. An ideal in terms of like for TCE. Those people are reported to have used it, and from everything I can hear and have read and can hear with my own ears, I think that that's pretty accurate. And learn to start identifying with that sound. And there's a beauty to that classic trumpet hero sound that is not as common today. And I think as a player, it'll help you kind of stand out because you'll have a sound that may be different than what other people play. But get your ear in tune with what that sound is. Not to say you can't play light and pretty and soft with TCE. You can, but that's more of an advanced technique that you will learn. What you're going to first learn is to play with a powerful, resonant, focused, in-tune sound. And then once you have that, then you can learn to soften it up and play pretty. So that's the other thing that helps. So get your ear in tune with what it should sound like. Don't be super dogmatic about the tongue touching the lips the whole time. It'll articulate off the lips, but then allow it to come back to where the sound improves, but you still want to try to keep it between the teeth. The other thing that I can tell you is some of the drawings, there's different viewpoints or options for where you put your tongue and where you articulate. And so on some systems, some iterations of this, they advocate, the advocation would be the tip of your tongue on your bottom lip. So over your teeth, on your bottom lip, and then articulating either off the top lip or off the cutting edge of the teeth with your tongue. That's basically how I play now. And in some of the early drawings of that, I would see it where it would look like the tongue is coming over and resting in front of the teeth, like it's anchored to the front of the teeth. Now, it's just 6 to 1 and half dozen of the other. If you were to say your tongue rests on the bottom lip or your tongue rests on the front of the bottom teeth. But there was something about that rests on the front of the bottom teeth that just did not click with me. I could not figure that out. It felt so weird to me. It just seemed impossible to play. That didn't make any sense. But it's saying, put your bottom lip, put your tongue over your bottom teeth and have it stay in contact with your bottom lip. That I can do. Now, to be clear, I may end up a couple months from now reverting and doing something like, progressing and figuring out something different. But as of the last month and a half, 2 months, this is kind of where I'm at. So I find the tongue over, touching the bottom lip, that helps a lot. Another option is to have the tip of the tongue behind the bottom teeth and then beveling over the teeth and then articulating off of the cutting edge of the top teeth. So my tip is behind my teeth and it bevels over. This is what's taught in, I think, Master Super Chops. And this one hasn't quite worked out as well for me yet. I can do it with lip buzzing and spit buzzing, but on the trumpet, it hasn't worked quite as well. And I think the problem for me when I do that is that my whole tongue wants to just come back into my mouth. And I'm having a hard time keeping it between my teeth. So for me, I don't like that one as much. I like having the tongue over the bottom teeth in contact with my bottom lip. And then the other thing that I think would help is a couple of things. Lots of spit buzz practice is usually helpful. 10 minutes of that a day or so would be really good. Just doing that to build strength on the tongue. I'm not trying to build strength on my embouchure or lips, just in the tongue. I find that that's really useful because as the tongue gets stronger, it's easier to keep it forward. And then I find it easier for me when I ascend, I just think about the tongue getting wider and coming closer to the front of my mouth. So like that, and I can feel it against my molars. Here's another tip. There was times when I was first learning this that I would think, man, I don't think my tongue's far enough forward. There's times where I would know it's not far enough forward. I could hear the pitch has fallen. I could feel that it's taking a lot more air now. Like I know. And there's those times where I was like, I'm not sure if I have it far forward enough. Well, in that case, what I learned is that I just at the end of a note, just to close my teeth and see if I can feel my tongue. And if I could feel my tongue, where? And many times I found that when I would do that, I could see, oh, no, I can still feel it. Like, it's there. And I know, like, it may be wide. If I bite down and only get the sides of my tongue over here, that'll tell me the tongue's wide, but maybe not far forward enough. Because it's, I could be winding down on my back molars back here. So it might be wide enough, but it may not be coming forward enough. But if I'm playing and I'm wondering, because sometimes it's hard to feel where the tongue is at. You would think it wouldn't. You would think if your tongue was kind of in touch with the lips and touching the teeth, that you would know it all the time. But I just can't. I don't know if it's because of all the vibration that's going on. Like, my head's vibrating, my lips are vibrating, the teeth are vibrating, the mouthpiece is vibrating, sound is happening. I'm trying to play, I'm trying to focus. There may be other musicians involved. I just kind of lose that sensation. I'll just occasionally check by just sort of biting down. And if I can bite down and close my teeth and my tongue's not being bit, then I know my tongue's not very far forward. But if I start to bite down, I'm like, oh, there's my tongue. Like, I can tell if my tongue is present or not. And that tongue being present through the teeth is critical because it's what maintains the air velocity as it comes out of your lungs through your mouth to the embouchure. So those are some of the things that I struggled with in the beginning. So too dogmatic about the instructions, and not recognizing that there's some baby steps that you can go through. So baby step 1, anchor tongue. Learn anchor tongue if you haven't done that already. Once you can anchor your tongue, then learn to tongue on your lips. And I know that if you're familiar with balanced embouchure, this kind of sounds similar to that. And there's a lot of good things in balanced embouchure, but this isn't the balanced embouchure. This is something different than that. But there's some exercises in the balanced embouchure that are similar to this that can be useful. But learn to tongue through the lips. Then once you can tongue through the bottom lip, the lips, and you can play simple scale studies. Once you can do that, then start to work on the actual, like the TCE portion of the tongue control, the embouchure portion. Decide, do you want to have your tongue, excuse me, going over your teeth and resting on your bottom lip, or do you want to have the whole bevel thing? I don't know that one's better than the other. I know Ralph Salamone says that he thinks the tongue over the teeth may be a little better, but it really kind of doesn't matter. And I tend to agree with that. I don't know that it matters. Whichever one's easy for you, do it. And it's okay to experiment and try both. And, if at some point one works, you might just go back and see if the other one now works better. I don't know. Jerry was famous for this. He was always, on the Trumpet, the Master Super Chops DVD, he said, I'm teaching my embouchure that I've been using for a whole day and a half, and he was just famous for just tweaking that. And it's fine to explore and kind of experiment. So anchor tongue through the lips, see if you can get the tongue to either rest on the bottom lip or, anchor behind the teeth, and then bevel and fold over and articulate through the mouth that way. And work on spit buzzing about 10 to 20 minutes a day. Don't be dogmatic about it. It's not to build up your chops. It's to build up the strength of your tongue. And then on your trumpet, begin working on just playing simple scales, doing the spit buzz, like that. And that'll get you going and kind of see. And through that, if you should start to hear when it's working some things in your sound that you will hopefully dig. Hopefully you'll hear the pop to your attack, the efficiency to your playing. It's not that it's easy playing. It's not like, it hardly feels like I'm even working. It's not that. There's compression in your body that you feel, but if that compression feels like it's effective and it's productive compression, it doesn't feel like it's just choked and restrictive. It feels like it's productive compression. And then you should have a sound that just seems like it just like fills the room and just pops and spins around everywhere. And if all that's happening for you, you're on the right track, and keep seeing where that goes. If you hate it, you can always play the way you've been playing. Not a problem. But if you like it, this could be a whole new world of trumpet playing to you that you've never had before. All right, friends, another long-ass video. I'm sorry, but thanks for watching. Give me your comments below. Let me know what you think. And as always, hope this helps.